How's our financial plan coming?
Super! Chris, any advice?
With Western and Southern, preparing for your financial future can be easier than you think. Favorite receiver?
Huh?
To get started, visit westernsouthern.com.
Welcome into PFF Studios. I'm Austin Gayle with Anthony Treash, the PFF analyst here. We are going to be diving into the upcoming free agency class and looking at quarterbacks. A couple weeks ago, we looked at offensive line, or I guess that was last week, but we looked at offensive line. We're diving into quarterbacks now. There are a ton of quarterbacks that are going to be, technically unrestricted free agents this offseason. Of course, there's opportunities for these teams to re-sign some of these players before they test the open market. But if some of these guys test the open market, there's some legit talent expected to hit the free agency class. I want to dive into the first name here, Drew Brees. 40 years old, has been with New Orleans for a while now. He is easily one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, a top 5 quarterback in PFF's opinion, in my opinion. 28 big-time throws in 2018, only 12 turnover-worthy plays. And the biggest thing I love about Drew Brees, very accurate with the football.
Yeah, 94.7 PFF grade last year. That was the best among quarterbacks, even higher than Patrick Mahomes.
Mm-hmm.
And in his limited dropbacks this season, he's at an 84.7 grade, which would be the third best if he qualified it. But he hasn't really recorded any big-time throws this season. He's got a low average depth of target. But as you said, the accuracy, he has been precise with the football, and he's 40 going on 41, but from an accuracy perspective, we're seeing no signs of regression.
And that's the biggest thing with the quarterback position. If you can still be accurate with the football at the level Drew Brees is, you have a place in this league. I don't see the New Orleans Saints going away from him. I see him re-signing in the Bayou, but if he doesn't re-sign in the Bayou, there are a ton of teams that would jump at this guy on the open market. Let's go to another guy that people would jump at on the open market. Tom Brady, 42 years old. Obviously, he's been a New England Patriot his entire career with Bill Belichick as well. This guy's not going anywhere. I don't think he tests the market. I think they re-sign him before anything gets close. But Tom Brady, technically a free agent. How's his game right now?
Yeah, 7th highest graded quarterback through Week 10, and he's been the same Tom Brady we all know and love, but some people don't really love.
Yeah.
He's been making big-time plays and limiting the bad ones. He's our 4th highest graded quarterback on throws of 10 or more yards, and he's 4th in negatively graded play rate. And he's doing this with a rather subpar receiving unit is what's really kind of, impressive to me. Julian Edelman was supposed to be leading this pack, but he's on pace for his worst graded season since 2012. It's critical to get his job done when he's not going to his first read because of this. And right now, he's doing it just as good as guys like Russell Wilson and Patrick Mahomes. And, he is 42, but he's playing better than most guys are in their prime right now.
I think that TB12 diet keeps him in New England, keeps him going beyond 42. I think he's going to continue to play at a high level. They need to build around him a little bit. Obviously, they invested a first-rounder in N'Keal Harry. He's expected back from injury, but I need some more. Even that offensive line is a lot of makeshift talent. I think Tom Brady needs some help there, but I see him staying in New England. This guy's not suiting up for another team. I just don't see it.
I might have to get on that TB12 diet.
You need to get on that TB12 diet. Let's go to Eli Manning. This is a guy that I do not expect to be starting in the NFL in 2020, even if he is signed with another team. I don't expect him to stay with the Giants even, unless he's willing to buy into this mentor role under Daniel Jones, because I think that's where his role is right now. If he doesn't retire, go to a team with a younger quarterback that's looking for a mentor that can get him through a lot of these things. Because you look at 2018, 25 big-time throws, 31 turnover-worthy plays. That has no place in the NFL. When your ratio is that bad and when you're putting the ball in harm's way at that rate, it's hard to justify starting you in the NFL. But a mentor role for a young quarterback, I could see it happen in New York or somewhere else if he tests the market.
For sure. Those 31 turnover-worthy plays, that's bad. That led all quarterbacks in 2018. Granted, he had a lot of big-time throws, but he just threw far too many inaccurate passes. And then when you look at the most predictive metrics in a quarterback in clean pocket performance, he was in the lower tier of quarterbacks in PFF grade. And not to mention, he was one of the worst quarterbacks when facing any type of pressure. He was the 2nd lowest graded quarterback when he was moved off spot. That's not good. He's had a good, long NFL career, probably will make the Hall of Fame because of that Super Bowl he won against the undefeated Patriots.
2 Super Bowls.
Exactly, 2 Super Bowls. But you have to think the time has come for either that mentor role or for him to hang up the cleats.
I would agree with you 100%. And he's an interesting situation, but I think even more interesting is this next guy, Phillip Rivers, 37 years old. He's shown that he can be on that high end of the scale, be a dominant quarterback in this league. But right now, 19 big-time throws, 19 turnover-worthy plays. That's very volatile, a roller coaster monster, if you will. Those are Jameis Winston-esque numbers. When that ratio starts to even out, things aren't going great. I still think he has a place in this league. I still think he starts in this league, largely because there are a ton of teams that will need quarterbacks in the NFL in 2020. I think Phillip Rivers, whether he stays in Los Angeles with the Chargers or goes somewhere else, at a very high price tag, I still think he's an expensive quarterback. He's going to start in the NFL because I still think he has it.
Yeah, I mean, Phillip has had his fair share of highs and lows. You know, he had that insane game back in Week 4 against the Dolphins at a 95.7 grade. But then you look at last week, he had a bad 43.8 grade against the Raiders. You know, but he still had a 77.0 grade in 2019, which is higher than his 2016 and 2015 seasons. So he's still getting the job done despite his age. He's produced the 5th most big-time throws, as you said, but Mr. Volatile. I mean, he's throwing a lot of turnover-worthy plays, giving the defense a lot of opportunities. But again, he's still better than most quarterbacks in the NFL. So you have to think the Chargers are kind of in that draft and stash mentality. You know, bring back Phillip Rivers, but also get a young quarterback in to kind of have Phillip, you know, mentor him.
I'm being a little bold here. I think Phillip wants to get out of Los Angeles. I mean, they moved from San Diego to Los Angeles. He's going to be an unrestricted free agent. That offensive line is multiple pieces away. The tackles are bad. Guards have not panned out. I think he wants to go somewhere with an average offensive line and maybe in a different city because he got uprooted from San Diego, voiced his displeasure for that. I think there's a chance that he wants to get out of the Chargers organization, maybe go somewhere else with a better offensive line. Who knows? We'll see. I do like the stash and draft method, though. I think that could make sense. Let's go to a guy that will be starting. I'm saying this right now. Starting in 2020, Teddy Bridgewater. I am buying in. He didn't show a ton. You look at this ratio here, 7 big-time throws, 5 turnover-worthy plays. He's not a guy that has the high end, really, like an Aaron Rodgers or a Phillip Rivers even can put up these big numbers because he's a special thrower of the football. But what he does, keep the offense on schedule, limits mistakes, only 5 turnover-worthy plays this season, and I think that has a role in the NFL. That has a place in the NFL. I think a team jumps at Teddy Bridgewater in the open market.
Yeah, it's an odd thing to say, but Drew Brees, his injury made Teddy's bank account increase by $20 million.
It's not odd. I think that's 100% right.
It's exactly right. And granted, he didn't play the best that first game when he came in, you know, on a whim. He had a PFF grade in the 30s for that game. But in the 5 games he started, I mean, the Saints went undefeated, and he was lights out. He had the 5th highest PFF grade in that 5-game stretch. And he showed great poise in the pocket. He was the 3rd highest grade when the time to throw eclipsed 3.1 seconds, so those longer developing plays. And he executed Sean Payton's offense to perfection, the play-action pass. He was our highest graded quarterback in play action. So you really have to like what you're seeing from Teddy Bridgewater. And as you said, this man's going to get paid.
I absolutely 100% see him getting paid this offseason, especially on the open market. There is some interest in backing up Drew Brees again and being in this offense because Sean Payton's a great offensive play caller. But go chase some money. Go start for a team. Go make a name for yourself. A guy that I don't want to see leave New Orleans is Taysom Hill. He's going to be an unrestricted free agent at 29 years old. He has not played a ton of quarterback, but technically is a quarterback. The reason I don't want to see him leave New Orleans is because I don't see another offensive play caller, maybe Andy Reid, involve him in an offense like the New Orleans Saints do. They put him at quarterback, wide receiver, tight end, running back. He plays punt coverage. I mean, this guy plays everything, and I don't see him having that same role with a ton of other NFL teams. Like I said, maybe an Andy Reid, some creative play callers out there, Freddie Kitchens maybe, I don't know. But New Orleans is a great spot for him because if they bring back Drew Brees and he still can play this role where he's in and out and doing a lot of things, I think that's what's best for him. What do you see in Taysom Hill?
Yeah, I mean, we all know he's versatile and can line up wherever on the field, but can this guy play quarterback and throw the ball? You know, we've seen him take very few dropbacks in the regular season play, but we saw him some in the preseason. This past preseason, 59 times he threw the ball, and it wasn't that bad, but we're talking small sample size in meaningless games. It had a 79.2 passing grade in those games, and really, you can't really put up money to expect this guy to come in and throw the ball when he hasn't, in real competition. But I like what you're saying there.
I mean, he has a lot of experience. He has a lot of experience in the NFL, but not a lot of experience at quarterback. I can't imagine a team wanting to, throw a ton of money down for him to play quarterback, start at quarterback for their team just yet. He has not proved that. I think his role, and it would be interesting to talk to him about it, is his role is this dynamic player that plays a ton of different things, because I think that's where he fits best, and Sean Payton is playing him to a T. So, no one knows about Taysom Hill unless he's playing for Sean Payton, the New Orleans Saints. Let's go to another guy here. I think one of the more interesting names in free agency, a younger guy, first of the younger guys here, 25 years old, Jameis Winston, volatile as heck, dude, a roller coaster, 15 big-time throws, 23 turnover-worthy plays. He'll drop a dime over the top left sideline, Mike Evans, and on the next play, just cross his body to a linebacker's chest, and that's so unfortunate, but at the same time, you love his tools. You love that he has that high end. There are coaches that want a Jameis Winston. I see him going elsewhere, probably starting in the NFL in 2020.
I'd have to agree with you there. In 2019, Jameis may be the disappointing thing, of the season for me. I mean, he remained an absolute roller coaster under Bruce Arians, who we thought was really going to, tap
limit
into
those mistakes, yeah.
Exactly, tap into that potential. He's third in positively graded play rate, which is great, but he's 26th in negatively graded play rate. He's known for his ability to air it out. And if I'm running a Winston-led offense, I'm banning any pass less than 10 yards. I'm letting this guy throw it deep every time because he is our lowest graded quarterback on throws of 9 yards or less by a large margin. He has the most turnover-worthy plays. As you said, he's just giving it to the defense on those short passes. But on those deep passes, on throws of 10 or more yards, right now he's tied with Patrick Mahomes in PFF grade, right around that 10-11 range. So, he owns his own pressure rate and fumbles a ton. But this guy is a starter if you really let him air it out.
And what's unfortunate is because you think with Bruce Arians, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, O.J. Howard before the bust that is this season, you thought this was the offense. This was the team Jameis Winston breaks out. It's not happening, which I think is even more concern for his market price on the open market, because I don't think there are a ton of teams that could do it better than Bruce Arians and fit better Jameis Winston's skill set. It'll be interesting to see how he's treated. I'm not ruling out that he comes back to Tampa Bay on a small contract, like a limited, 1-year prove-it deal, because that offense is probably fit for him. We'll see. It'd be interesting to see what goes on with Jameis Winston. Let's go to Dak. Dak Prescott is going to get paid, most likely by Jerry Jones. The problem is they already paid $90 million for Ezekiel Elliott, a running back, probably not even the best running back on that team. Whoa, let's not go that far. Let's not go that far. Tony Pollard, pretty good. Ezekiel Elliott, also good. But Dak Prescott, 84.7 grade this year. I think he's really proved it with Amari Cooper getting the best of him. I think he's taking advantage of that offensive line. 18 big-time throws, 13 turnover-worthy plays. He's proven to be a quarterback you can build around, you can win with. And with that being said, I don't see Jerry Jones letting this guy leave the building.
Exactly. I mean, he took a huge risk by not signing that extension in the offseason for a little less money, and he proved that he could, win this season and try to get more. And at this rate, Jerry is bound to pony up the cash and really kind of put him in a tough spot, though, with their other players. But Dak is going to get paid, and he has an 84.7 PFF grade right now. That's the 8th highest among all quarterbacks, and he's putting up a similar season that kind of reminds me of his rookie year. We didn't see the same Dak in 2017 and 2018. He kind of regressed more towards the average for a quarterback. But he is currently the highest graded quarterback when going to his first read, which you have to be very optimistic about this guy's future in those situations.
Absolutely. Going into the season, his rookie campaign was his highest graded PFF season. Now, this is going to be his highest graded season. He's putting it on the line in a contract year, and I think the offense is good for him. I think he's in a really good spot. I think I'm willing to put some money in that guy's pockets. Let's go to Ryan Tannehill, which I think his story is still yet to be told. He's played well in recent weeks, took down the Kansas City Chiefs. That was really impressive. I think he's going to continue to start for the Titans, and really his market is going to build over these next few weeks. Right now, I see him kind of maybe coming in as a backup or with potential to start in a cloudy quarterback situation, but if he continues to play well in Tennessee and continues to move forward, I think there's a chance they keep him. They keep him, and maybe they do draft one in the draft as well. But Ryan Tannehill, a very good option for if you don't have a very high pick in the draft. You're not targeting Tua Tagovailoa or Joe Burrow. You keep Ryan Tannehill, use him as the band-aid solution before you bring in the future, because he's 31 years old. But Ryan Tannehill, a very interesting situation. What are you seeing with him?
Yeah, I mean, everyone thought that when Mariota was benched, Tannehill would come in, throw a few duds, and Marcus Mariota regain his starting status. But the way Ryan Tannehill is playing, you have to think Mariota's not seeing the field again in 2019, bearing injury to Ryan Tannehill, because right now he is our 13th highest graded quarterback, and he's really not even in the best of situations. He's facing one of the highest sack rates in the NFL right now, and when he's kept clean and free from pressure, this guy's been impressive. He's our 5th highest graded quarterback in those situations and averaging the 3rd most yards per attempt. There is cause for concern long-term for this guy, because when we go back to his 2018 season with Miami, it was bad. I mean, he posted a PFF grade that was the 3rd worst we have ever seen from a quarterback in the PFF era, which is not really good. But you go back to his seasons before that, he was pretty average, not great by any means, but better than a handful of NFL starters.
I think there's a role for him. I think he stays in Tennessee, in my opinion. They keep him as this Band-Aid solution while they try and find the quarterback of the future, because he's playing well right now. He just beat the Kansas City Chiefs. If he continues to play well, I don't think you go away from the hot hand. Speaking of the not hot hand here, Marcus Mariota, benched for Ryan Tannehill, has really failed to live up to expectations after going very high in the draft out of Oregon. I don't know. I don't know with this guy. I think he goes into 2020 free agency, and there maybe is some interest in him being a starter, but here's my situation. 5 big-time throws, 8 turnover-worthy plays. He's never really flashed that high end that you expected from him. Go to New England, back up Tom Brady with Bill Belichick, and really learn the NFL, learn this offense, and get better as a quarterback, because I just don't think he's ready. Somehow the game still looks too fast for him. He doesn't take the right chances, and even when he does, he turns the ball over. I think he needs some time on the sideline with a coach that's going to mentor him and bring him up, and a quarterback too, I really do like that fit in New England.
I think I do too. I mean, I like that. That's not even a hot take. I think that's pretty bound to happen. You know, despite not living up to expectations as a second overall pick, I would be shocked if this guy did not get another chance at any point in time over the next few years, just because of what we saw from him in college and that athleticism and his young age. You know, he's a very mobile quarterback, and he hasn't really shown anything. As you said, he's shown a little bit on his deep passing. He was good in 2017 and 2018 in that regard, and completing passes at a pretty high rate, the fourth highest rate, in fact. But in 2019, he just could not hit an open receiver. He was our lowest graded quarterback when throwing to a receiver with a step or more of separation by a lot.
Wow.
That's not really that good. But if you put him in a situation behind Tom Brady and have Josh McDaniels really work with them, I think you can really tap into this guy's potential and see him a lot better.
I could see New England 2 preseasons with Marcus Mariota flop this kid for a second rounder. Because I mean, that's what they've done. That's what they've done with the quarterback position. That backup, Jacoby Brissett, Jimmy Garoppolo, even Ryan Mallett. People had some interest when he was on that team. I think Marcus Mariota a little bit better than Ryan Mallett, but I think he goes to New England, offers some value, and could be the heir apparent to Tom Brady if they did start to like him and build around him the appropriate way. Let's go to Kyle Allen, a very interesting guy, and kind of similar to Ryan Tannehill in that he got kind of thrown into the fire, has played well in bursts, but down the stretch I feel like I've been really unimpressed with Kyle Allen's play. 12 big-time throws, 14 turnover-worthy plays. He looked very good on these throws of 10 or more air yards to start the year compared to Cam Newton, but down the stretch now he's kind of regressed back to the mean, if not below it, not playing well right now. I don't see Kyle Allen being signed as a starter in 2020.
Yeah, this is one of those situations where people view the team's record as a measure of success and talent for a quarterback, and they're just completely ignoring the fact the Panthers' coverage unit is allowing the 5th lowest EPA per passing dropback. I mean, so you have to give credit to them, and I think more people are just riding the high we saw from him in his debut game back in Week 3 when he had an 86.6 PFF grade. Since then, he's had 2 game grades in the 40s and 1 in the 20s.
Jeez.
Overall, he's 30th among starting quarterbacks in PFF grade. When you watch Carolina, you see them run a significant amount of play action, and Kyle Allen in play action has not been good. He has not been able to execute this play action offense. He is our lowest graded quarterback on play action passes right now, and 30th.
That's not a good place to be.
Exactly. I mean, those are the easiest ones to kind of conduct in an offense, and that's really a big cause for concern. And you kind of have to think a healthy Cam Newton is a better option than Kyle Allen. But at this rate that we're seeing between the relationship between Cam Newton and Carolina, be hard to see that happen.
I think Carolina might not be starting Kyle Allen or Cam Newton next year, maybe going in a different direction, maybe going to get a quarterback in the draft, or maybe bringing in Jameis Winston. Who knows? There's a big 2020 free agency class with these quarterbacks. Last one on the list here, we're going to bring in San Francisco 49ers backup quarterback Nick Mullens. When he started in place of the injured Jimmy Garoppolo, there's some people who liked what he put to the table, but I'll say this. Kyle Shanahan was pulling those strings, okay? He was a puppet master. He made Nick Mullens look a lot better than maybe what people thought. 5 big-time throws, 10 turnover-worthy plays, 64.6 PFF grade. Can't be impressed with those numbers. I think he's a backup in the NFL. I don't see him leaving San Francisco, largely because he knows the system. Kyle Shanahan's system can take time. We saw that with Jimmy G to start in San Francisco. Take time to learn. You keep him in that system. I don't think he's ready to start in the NFL. And if you're not ready to start in the NFL as a backup, I don't see it makes a ton of sense to go back up another offense. I think he stays in San Fran.
Yeah, I mean, when he came in last season, it was an up and down season for him. He ended up with a 64.6 PFF grade. He was really not good under pressure or any type of duress, and he really couldn't create when nothing was available. And he struggled to have patience on throws that, like I said, just weren't there. But he executed this quick pass offense of Kyle Shanahan's pretty nicely. He uses a lot of motion and sometimes confuses the defense and has a good, understanding of how to do that.
Yeah.
And when his time to throw was 2.5 seconds or less, he was the 12th highest graded quarterback last season and averaged the 3rd most yards per attempt.
Okay, so maybe there's something to build off there. I like that.
Kyle Shanahan, though, we got to remember, Kyle Shanahan's running this offense, but there was some positive from Mullens, but he's not a franchise caliber quarterback.
Exactly.
And I would agree. I'd be shocked if this guy left San Francisco. I think he's a good backup for him.
I agree 100%. I don't see him getting out of San Fran. That's going to do it for our free agency preview of the quarterback class. That was fantastic, by the way, Anthony. Thanks for coming on board here. Remember, all of this presented by our friends at Western and Southern, and you can get more content like this by subscribing to PFF's YouTube channel, or go ahead and go to the site, pff.com.
You want to get rid of me and get back to more great PFF YouTube content? All you have to do is push that button right there and subscribe. Thanks for watching.